Ancient Egyptians buried their dead in elaborately decorated coffins called a sarcophagus. The afterlife and customs surrounding death were a large part of the Egyptians' customs and culture. The sarcophagi were detailed with symbols, drawings, and stories. The symbols were thought to give the dead spiritual protection. Desk masks are the detailed headpieces on the sarcophagus. These were placed over the mummies and were thought to help a dead person's spirit recognize their body in the afterlife. This lesson encourages you to not only think about the level of detail that went into each sarcophagus, but also to recognize similar patterns, symbols, and colors. You will use a folded piece of paper, and this will help you to create a balanced, symmetrical sarcophagus. Let's learn a little bit more about ancient Egypt.
Hello friends, welcome to a new Happy Learning video. As you can see in the images, today we're going to talk about pyramids, mummies and pharaohs. Today we're going to travel to ancient Egypt. Egypt is a country that still exists today, situated in northeastern Africa. But what we call ancient Egypt is a civilization that started more than 5,000 years ago and lasted for approximately 3,000 years. Its origins commences with Pharaoh Name, also known as a Scorpion King, who in 3200 BC funded this country at the Nile's bank. The River Nile is the largest river in Africa and was the most important existing thing for Egyptians since they depended on its water to survive. Their whole civilization and cities rose from the river's bank. The Nile was so important because Egypt is a country surrounded by desert and the cultivations could only take place at its shores. But it wasn't only used for agriculture. The river was also used to fish and hunt. They also used it as a great road to transport goods or large stone blocks used for their constructions. All of this was why the Nile was considered to be a god. Actually, ancient Egyptians had hundreds of gods. Some had a human's body and an animal's head, like goddess Bastet, who had a lion's head, or god Anubis and his jackal head. But the most important of all was Ra, god of sun, who had a falcon's head. The pharaohs were ancient Egypt's kings. There were many pharaohs over 3,000 years, but the most famous one was Tutankhamun. Ancient Egyptians believed in life after death, and therefore they were buried with their belongings, furniture, vases, clothes, and even food. They believed that this way these things could be used in the next life. As pharaohs had the greatest power, they wanted to have the best tombs, and they got them. These tremendous pyramids were built for pharaohs' tombs. Inside them, there are many tunnels, chambers, and secret passageways. When they died, pharaohs and some noblemen's bodies were mummified to preserve their bodies after death. These are the famous mummies. Mummies were placed in a sarcophagus, luxurious coffins that were covered in beautiful drawings and hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics were the mysterious Egyptian writings. Their meaning was a mystery for thousands of years, but thanks to archaeologists, we can translate them and partly understand what they want to say. The truth is, everything in ancient Egypt's circle fascinates me. You already know that discovering the past makes us understand the present and improve the future. Goodbye friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Happy Learning TV.
For supplies today, you'll need plain paper, a pencil with an eraser, a juicy black Sharpie or black marker, and some coloring supplies. Hold your paper in the vertical fashion. Line up the long sides of your paper and give it a zip. Then fold that in half by lining up your short sides, giving that a zip, and then fold it one more time the same way. Now open up your paper until it's still folded like a hot dog bun. Make sure your fold is on the left side of your paper. Left side. We'll use these fold lines as guides for proportion. In other words, so your head or your body won't be too big or too small. You should be using a pencil here. I'm using a Sharpie just so you can see better. Starting at that top fold, make a dot, and then about a finger's width from the top, draw a horizontal line about 2 fingers wide, and then half of a U shape down to that dot. We are creating the desk mask. Draw a shallow S curve from the left center fold to the first guide fold. On the bottom of the chin, draw a vertical line down and then curve it to that center fold. Next to that, draw another vertical line, and then you'll connect them to that outer line. Next, we'll draw the pedestal to the sarcophagus. About a finger's width from the bottom, draw a horizontal line starting at that center fold, about 4 fingers long, and curve it downward. Now, ghost draw a line from the edge of the desk mask to the pedestal. Back to that center guide fold, draw a horizontal line about a finger wide, and then make a vertical line down to the pedestal. Now draw some decorative horizontal lines on those bottom 2 guide folds just to section off your sarcophagus. Using your poor man's lightbox, aka a window, hold your folded artwork up to the window with your drawing facing outside. Now trace all of those lines you've already drawn to create a symmetrical piece of artwork. Unfold your artwork and trace over your pencil lines with black marker and fix any areas that don't quite meet up. Notice Barb is supervising. Feel free to use the pattern guides of historical Egyptian artwork that are on your Art Google Classroom assignment to help with your patterns and decoration. Here are some fun facts. A traditional Egypt desk mask weighs about 25 pounds and has a likeness of the mummy underneath it. Around the face is a headdress symbolizing a striking cobra, and they typically have a plaited beard coming out of the chin. If you have access to a camera and printer, you can print out a picture of your own face to place in the desk mask. See these examples from last year's students. If you don't have this option, you can draw your likeness, something like this. Don't forget to darken your eyes in the traditional Egyptian manner. You should also draw some crossed arms, like this, to symbolize resting in peace. In this middle vertical rectangle, you'll be writing your name in hieroglyphics. You can do your first or last name, it's your choice. I recommend sectioning off your space with a pencil first to make sure you have enough space for all of your characters. For instance, LAPHAM. I have 6 spots for 6 letters. The hieroglyphics reference sheet is in your Art Google Classroom assignment page. Trace over your hieroglyphics with your black marker. Now you're going to add all of your decorations to your beautiful sarcophagus. Again, feel free to use the pattern guides that are on the Art Google Classroom to help you in this endeavor. Make sure that they are symmetrical, so the left side should match the right side. The last step is to neaten up any of your lines with your Sharpie and then color in. Traditional colors were yellow, navy, aqua, and red for Egyptian sarcophagi, but you could use whatever colors you'd like. If you have metallic colored pencils, you can imitate the golden sarcophaguses with these. So if I were to put on my future glasses, your artwork might look something like this. Look closely at this Egyptian artwork. Do you get it? I can't wait to see what your artwork looks like.